Welcome to Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. I'm Rob Wilson.
And I am Tony DeQuano.
So, Tony, we are into this year's Summer Blockbuster series. So,
yes, we are.
Let's talk about a blockbuster that was, at the time, I think it's probably safe to say it was kind of a surprise hit.
I think it kind of was, too. I mean, I would have to, at least in my mind, I would have to do a little bit more research on it, but I saw it in theaters when it came out.
I did not see it in theaters.
But yeah, I don't think it was totally expected to be this big of a hit because the people involved with it, at least the creators, they were known, but they were kind of very niche.
Yeah.
And then it became a hit and actually spawned a little bit of a franchise.
Yeah. So we are going to combine two genres in this one.
Right. Well, that's kind of where I was going to go with this.
So we got horror and we also have comedy.
Yeah.
Because this one is a spoof of horror movies.
Which is interesting because, today, you have a lot of comedic personalities that have really gone into horror and they've stripped away the comedy.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this combines horror and comedy.
Really well, I would say.
Really well, yes. Which is kind of fascinating because the movie itself, the movie that this movie is referencing heavily, kind of does that itself.
It does. Well, only the source movie really more does the whole meta.
It is very
comedy thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is a completely different kind of comedy than this is.
Very different comedy than this. And we haven't done many spoof.
No, we haven't.
More of a spoof type of comedy.
No,
right?
We haven't.
We've done Top Secret.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think spoof is a kind of elastic term.
Yeah.
A little bit. But this fully falls in line with spoof.
Yes, it does.
But it blends into that horror category also because of what it's spoofing.
Mm-hmm. So the movie that we're talking about is the very first scary movie from 2000.
From 2000.
Mm-hmm. From the year 2000.
Doesn't go quite as far back as I kind of thought. Maybe this movie actually is in the 2000s.
Yes, it is. Barely. But it is.
It's a movie that it kind of hits a lot of kind of first or movies we had, categories we haven't done often.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Again, you talked about the blending of the comedy and the horror. We haven't really done many horror movies.
No.
Right. People might push Psycho into that or Silence of the Lambs into that category.
But both of those, I would say, are more thriller than horror.
Yes, I would agree. And then there's The Shining, which is more of a supernatural type thriller than pure horror.
Yeah.
Right.
But The Shining has more horror elements than those other two do.
It does.
So it could be categorized either way, I think.
And
definitely supernatural. Definitely supernatural, thriller, or
yes.
horror, however you want to put it. But
but we haven't done Halloween, Poltergeist, The Exorcist, The Hills Have Eyes, Hellraiser, right? We did do Alien. I would put Alien as a horror movie.
Yes. I'm completely fine categorizing that as horror.
But yeah, we haven't dipped too deep into that genre.
Although I did see a meme the other day that was talking about how Alien, if you look at it from the alien's perspective,
I've seen this one.
It is it's a remake of Die Hard.
Yes, and I will never be able to look at it the same way again. But we also get elements of a stoner comedy.
Yes,
in this movie,
very much so.
Which we haven't really done. And it's also the first one I would say because it is the Wayans Brothers, that really incorporates urban humor into it. And then also the first one I would say is kind of I would put into the category of a gross out comedy also.
Yeah, I can see that. But and it's very slapstick.
Oh, it's very slapstick.
So it's all these different types of comedy all crammed together. Different types of comedy that you wouldn't think would go together.
But it's very effective.
Yeah. Keenan Ivory Wayans is able to put it all together like that.
And, and if you've seen, obviously, Wayans were, with In Living Color. And this series of movies definitely hit diminishing returns. And they weren't involved with all the original 5, right? The 6th one actually just came out this weekend.
Yeah.
And did really well.
Yeah.
And, it's the highest. Now, I would want to see what the adjusted for inflation. I mean, look at the adjusted for inflation.
Yes.
To see, especially with what we're doing now, to see if it would actually outgross the new Scary Movie, but it actually made like just as much just as much money
It made movie
internationally
money.
this weekend, right? So like this is not a series I would think would have a huge international appeal to it, but the new Scary Movie made just as much money internationally as it did domestically.
That's
Right.
impressive.
So like, so there's still kind of a audience there for that. And I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to say anything about the quality of it. But yeah, like Keanu Wayans, like he can be all the Wayans can be really funny guys.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one in particular, like, they really weave together things really well. I don't like it as much as I'd say they're one of the other spoof movies from the 90s. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking a juice in the hood. But this was still really good. I'm surprised. I was kind of impressed that it actually pretty much held up for the most part.
Yeah, it really
Because
did.
like the story aspect of it works.
Yeah.
Like it could almost work a little bit like a horror movie in a way, as a slasher movie.
Yeah, it really can.
Because like, you know, there's a few dated references in there that don't work. But that's the thing with any of these spoof movies.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to throw so many different jokes there. Some just don't land very well.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the two main movies that it's spoofing, I mean, the main one is Scream.
The main one is Scream.
The secondary one is I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I know he did.
And then
summer.
they sprinkle little bits of other horror movies throughout.
Within there, right? It's some that are not even horror movies.
Yeah.
Like The Matrix gets a heavy reference.
Yeah, it does.
So, which again,
but also at that time, The Matrix was huge. So, of course, they're going to spoof it.
This might have been one of the first movies to really incorporate a Matrix like spoof into it, because Matrix was like a year before this movie came out, right? Which would mean that, you know, you're not really going to get a movie that's going to incorporate the spoof into it right away, obviously, because you got to get time to make the movie, you know, write the movie, shoot the movie, edit it, and then get it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, but yeah, like you said, like, particularly like the whole bullet time thing, like, in the early 2000s, like, that was a massive thing for movies just to kind of reference or spoof off of, right? The following year, another big movie that would do it would be Shrek, right?
Yeah.
And the movie that's spoofing off fairy tales, doing a Matrix sequence in there, right? So, yeah. But, yeah, I think it blends the elements all really well. And again, some jokes are funnier than others. Some don't, but it's a breezy movie. And it's, what, just under, really, it's, I think, an hour and 19 minutes is about the time the credits start rolling.
Yeah.
So it understands that when to cut itself off.
Total with the credits is an hour and 28 minutes.
Right. And I get like the credits do have a couple like scenes that they throw into there,
and
right?
You could say that it like the entire movie is that long because there is a post-credit scene that I did not realize was there until this viewing of it.
It is. And it's funny is that we say Scream, like this actually parodies multiple Scream movies.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So, because Scream was 1996.
Yeah, right? The first few Scream movies came out in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, of course it's going to reference everything that came before it.
But I love looking at the list beyond the Wayans Brothers, right? Like, you know, this was Anna Faris's first, like, this is her breakout.
Yeah, this was her breakout role in this movie.
Scary movie. By the way, think about Scream. Scream's original title was Scary Movie.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
So we have not done Scream yet, and so we can get to that. We can get to it a little as we start to prep you about it. We're gonna do our best to not also spoil Scream.
We're gonna try not to spoil Scream, but there will be references to it
to Scream.
But we're gonna try our best not to spoil that movie because we're not talking about that.
Scream
movie this time.
Scream would be a good one to do one day.
It would be.
Right, and then, you know, we get John Abrams in it. He was in the House of Wax with Paris Hilton.
Yeah,
I would love to do House of Wax.
Yeah.
We'll also meet the parents, right? You get Dave Sheridan. We mentioned a few months ago Regina Hall, right? Yep. And then we get, you know, Shannon Elizabeth.
This was fresh. This was fresh off of Shannon Elizabeth's fame from American Pie.
From American Pie, yep.
It came out a year earlier than this. We got
Carmen Electra.
Yeah, we got shows up cameo of Carmen Electra. Briefly in the movie.
We briefly mentioned this a few months back. Also, James Vanderbeek has
he does
as himself.
He's got a great cameo. I love his cameo.
It's a great cameo. It really is.
He just shows up out of nowhere. It's great.
Kurt Fuller is in this. And who I didn't realize was in this, who we've done quite a few balls. Done quite a few movies with him. And one of the movies he's in that we haven't done yet is Spaceballs, right? Is Rick Ducommun.
Yes. Yes, he is in this.
Right? We've actually done quite a few movies with him. Die Hard, The Burbs, Groundhog Day. Now Scary Movie. One day we will do Spaceballs. He was in that. He was in The Last Boy Scout. We'll probably do The Last Boy Scout one day.
Yep.
Right? You know.
But yeah, so I was thinking about this when I was watching this because I forgot he was in this. Right?
Yes, I did too.
He plays Cindy's dad in this. That's not a spoiler, so I'm saying it now.
Anyway. He shows up early in this movie. I'm like, oh.
So I came up with a theory.
Okay.
That all the movies that we've done so far that he's in, it's really all the same character, the same person.
It is.
Right?
Yes.
So first off, we have The Burbs. His earliest appearance of what we've done. So he plays Art in The Burbs.
Okay.
And, after his whole run-in with the power lines and everything, we get this sense that he might have worked for the power company at some point in there because of his willingness to go and mess with the power lines, right?
That's right.
So after the stuff with the Burbs, he moves to L.A. where he gets a job with the power company.
Okay.
And that's where he shuts down the power grid, or he has Central shut down the power grid.
Yes.
Then after that, after all of that, who knows? Maybe sometime between the Burbs and Die Hard, because there's a few years in there. He sort of settles down and has a family, right?
Okay.
And then, because of all of the stress and traumatic experiences that he's had over the years,
he's had quite a few
between all the goings on in Die Hard and the Burbs and all that. He kind of snaps a little bit and gets into porn and really kinky shit.
I'd buy it. I buy it.
And that's where his character in this movie falls.
All right. I like it. That's a good theory. We can roll with that. I like it. But yeah. Nice. I mean, really impressive little cast, right? Like, some actors have been around, veterans have been around for a while, some new faces, some of the hot things of that day, right? And then the Wayans Brothers. So, which unfortunately, they did end up for some reason making White Chicks and Little Man.
Yeah.
But
although
we can forgive them for that.
White Chicks is funny. It's
yeah.
It definitely has its moments.
There are moments in this movie that, again, it's a gross out movie that I would think the Wayans Brothers would probably still want to go there today. I don't know if they would be allowed to.
Yeah. But real quick, back to White Chicks. I don't care what anybody says about that movie. Terry Crews was brilliant in that movie.
Terry Crews is brilliant in everything.
But anyway, back to Scary Movie.
But yeah, it does push a few little boundaries.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Again, there is definite urban humor in this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and that intersection of urban humor and gross out. And yeah, we'll get to some of these scenes that get sprinkled in
Mm-hmm.
that are like, okay.
Yep.
So, but
Yep.
yeah, it's been. I mean, I saw it in theaters once. I probably saw it on like DVD or TV one or two times after that. So it's definitely been well over 20 years since I've seen this movie, and it held up well for what it was. Like I remember why like I enjoyed it, and I could see why it was ended up being a surprise hit. Is it the funniest movie of all time? No,
No, but it is pretty funny.
it is pretty funny, and
And
it accomplishes it does what it needs to do, right?
yeah.
And again, like you said earlier, it doesn't go on for too long. It doesn't drag. And so, it's overall a good breezy time I can see this being, I can see why it was successful because like, yeah, you're just in the theater in the summer laughing your butt off with other people.
Yeah. And
It's
there's
a good example of a summer comedy.
yes, it really is. And there's another actor in here that we failed to mention that was pretty much a staple of this type of comedy in the 90s.
Okay.
And that is Lachlan Monroe.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I mean, he was in a bunch of stuff in the 90s. And then after, after this, he kind of, I mean, he continued to work. Definitely. But didn't seem to be in as many big movies since then. But he has had a steady career. Done a lot of TV stuff.
We also had David Lander in this movie, who if
Yep.
you would have to know your 70s television shows really well, but he's on Laverne and Shirley.
Yes. And he even makes Laverne and Shirley reference.
Yes, he does. So, but yeah, again, fun movie. It's a good example of just kind of like late 90s, early 2000s comedy in general. Because a bunch of other spoof movies kind of shot off of this besides just scary movie. You get epic movie, date movie, not another teen movie.
Yeah.
Disaster movie.
Those, for the most part, were not good.
Pretty bad.
They were not good.
They were not good. This was good.
Yeah.
Scary Movie 2 was also pretty solid. After that, it kind of started sliding down. But this is kind of the nice example of it. So, and again, another overall nice representation of just that time period in general.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, what do you say we get into it?
we get into it.
Let's get into it. As always, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about this entire movie, beginning, middle, and end. So if you have not seen it, you don't want to be spoiled, pause the podcast, watch the movie, come back and listen. If you have seen it or you just don't mind being spoiled, keep on listening. We are going to be spoiling this movie. And also, we're going to try not to spoil too much, but we are going to end up spoiling parts of Scream.
We're going to definitely spoil like the basic outline of Scream.
Yeah, but we're going to try to spoil that movie as little as possible.
Right.
It's kind of like when we did Deadpool and Wolverine with Logan.
Yes. Right. Exactly.
So.
And so yeah. It starts out at nighttime at this house. This not really a secluded house, right? It's a nice house.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell
it's a suburban house,
sizable town, suburban house, but like it's not in your typical suburban neighborhood. It's a little bit more by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And we cut inside, and there's this teenage girl there, which of course they make the joke at the time that all the teenagers in these movies were pushing 30 years old.
Yeah.
Those are the actors and actresses that portray them.
And this particular teenager was played by Carmen Electra, who clearly was not a teenager.
No, clearly not a teenager. She was 28 years old when this movie came out.
But what I think is a nice nod is her character's name is Drew.
Yes. So a lot of the characters in these movies reference the names of characters in like Scream or the actors or actresses that portrayed them.
Yeah. So this one,
this one is
Drew. There's a character at the beginning of Scream who's played by Drew Barrymore.
Right? We talked about how Anna Faris's character in this movie is named Cindy Campbell, right? Well, her parallel was Nev Campbell, right?
Nev Campbell, whose first name in her character's name was Sydney, very similar to Cindy.
Yes. We mentioned Lachlan Monroe, right? He plays a character named Greg Felipe. Well, he is Ryan Felipe's character, and I know what he did last summer.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we get Carmen Electra, and she's at home alone, and she's getting ready to put popcorn.
Yeah, same with we got Bobby Prince and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah. Anyway, we also got Buffy Gilmore. So
yeah.
So yeah, she's getting ready to make popcorn, and it's the classic stovetop popcorn, right?
Yeah, your Jiffy Pop,
not the microwave popcorn. The Jiffy, yep,
it's your Jiffy Pop style. So she puts that on the stovetop, and she's talking on the phone.
Yep, it's because she gets a call, and this person wants to know what's her favorite scary movie. And I love. I had a good laugh at this because when this movie came out, the whole Mandela effect wasn't a thing.
Yeah,
but she just pulls out that Sinbad classic.
Yes, that Sinbad classic, the one when Sinbad plays a genie. But the voices on the other line isn't just a straight up voice. It's a distorted voice to a certain degree.
Yes.
Kind of a garbled voice.
It's but not the Sinbad classic. It's the Shaquille O'Neal classic.
The Shaquille O'Neal classic. Shazam or Kazam. Sorry, Shazam is the Sinbad classic. Kazam is the Shaquille O'Neal classic.
The voice is like, that's not a scary movie. She's like, have you seen it? And then she goes around and she goes back to the popcorn and she farts.
Yes.
And the voice is like, what was that? Like, oh, I'm sorry. I farted. I didn't think you could hear it. This movie has Carmen Electra farting.
Yes, this movie has Carmen Electra farting.
And he's like, no, not your fart. Not a popping sound. Like, oh, I'm just making popcorn. But then the conversation gets sinister.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's no longer concerned about what her favorite scary movie is, why she's farting in front of a stranger.
Well, she's farting while making popcorn.
But yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, you have a nice voice and you look good in that sweater. It's like, oh, what? They're looking at me? Right? You know, I was like, but I haven't put on my makeup yet. Right? And then she hangs up the phone, right? And then the phone rings again. She's getting scared because, right?
Yeah, and this time the voice asks about her boyfriend. If she knows where her boyfriend is. You know, the guy who likes to dress up like a woman. And tells her that to look out the back door. And so she looks out the back door, and there's someone that looks a lot like Prince sitting in a chair, tied up.
Looks like Prince. It's not Prince.
It's not Prince. This is Frank B. Moore. And she tells him that's not her boyfriend.
I mean,
which he is credited as
him a couple times.
Yeah. But he is credited as not Drew's boyfriend.
Yes. It's really good. He was like, he's not. Like, she fucked him a few times, but no, not my boyfriend. Not her boyfriend. Not Prince.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as we know, he does not die.
As far as we know, yeah. That's all we see of him. He's just tied to a chair on the back patio.
It becomes this kind of cat and mouse thing of calling the phone, hanging it up, and wondering where he is.
Mm-hmm.
The caller, that is, not her boyfriend.
No.
Right?
Where the caller is. But turns out the call is coming from inside the house.
It always comes from inside the house.
And he jumps out, and he's dressed in the Ghostface mask from Scream.
Yeah, the classic Ghostface mask, which, like, even if you haven't seen Scream or Scary Movie, like, you know the Ghostface mask.
So he's in, like, the black cloak with the Ghostface mask. He's got this big knife. And he starts chasing her.
And he chases her outside.
And she's running through the yard. And all of a sudden...
And he finally catches up with her. And
first, while she's running, the sprinklers turn on.
Oh, the sprinklers turn on first.
It's Carmen Electra who's running, and it slows down. She's running in slow motion. And, her sweater gets ripped off.
She takes off her pants.
Yeah,
her sweater.
So she's running in her underwear.
She's just in her bra and her panties.
She's running in her bra and her panties. In slow motion, just like her days in Baywatch. Just like her days in Baywatch. And, the sprinklers are going, and she's getting all wet. And then the guy dressed like Ghostface catches up with her. And what does he do, Tony?
He's got that knife, right? And he goes to stab her in the chest. And it gets her right in the boob. And he pulls it out. And what does he get?
Her breast implant is stuck on the knife.
She keeps running. He just stops. He looks at it. It's just wobbling there. The end of the knife.
And it shows her again. And that side of her chest is significantly smaller than the other side.
But she's still running for her life, right? But it cuts to the driveway.
Yeah.
And the car is coming up this driveway. And it's her parents.
Yeah, her parents.
Right? But what we don't see is that we just see her dad at first. We don't see someone in the passenger seat. But he looks like he has a nice look on his face.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then his wife's head pops up from his lap. After...
He's like, no.
After
go back down a little bit. After you what? Sorry.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah. It's just her dad driving into the driveway with this look on his face, and then runs right into her. She goes flying over the car. So this is like... I'm sorry if I'm spoiling another movie here, but if you've seen Meet Joe Black, you know the scene this...
It's just like that.
You know the
second car.
This is like... And I'm gonna leave it at that. In case, just so I don't spoil anything about Meet Joe Black for you. But if you've seen Meet Joe Black, this scene is going to look very familiar. But anyway, after she goes somersaulting over the car.
It cuts back inside the car.
Then it cuts back inside the car. And then her mom's head pops up from her dad's lap.
It's like, what was that? It's like, it's nothing. Get back down there. Then our Ghostface killer finishes killing her off.
Mm-hmm.
And then the title shows up for Scary
Movie. What's your favorite scary movie?
And now we cut outside. We don't cut outside that. We cut to another house, another bedroom.
So, I was just thinking about this. So obviously, I mean, the garbled voice on the phone and just the voice that this killer uses it's definitely a reference to Scream. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But with the voice changer and everything they use. But it sounds, I'm wondering if there's I might just be adding things to it here, but I'm wondering if there might also be a little bit of a Shining reference, because it sounds kind of like Danny doing Tony's voice.
Ah, I could see that. I like that. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good call.
Just thought of that.
That's
so I
a good
wonder
call.
if that's, I wonder if that's accurate.
That's very good. So we now cut to another bedroom with Anna Faris now, right? And we're in Cindy's room,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is, again, like I said, Anna Faris. And she's typing on the computer, right? Classic late 90s computer. And she hears a voice. She hears a noise outside her bedroom window, right?
And she freaks out.
And does Dawson show up before or after?
That's later. That's later. Dawson shows up.
That's what I thought.
But yeah, so it turns out that it's her boyfriend. Her boyfriend, Bobby Prince.
Yep.
Played by John Abrahams.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes in. She is kind of upset with him because he scared her, and she's okay. But he is very, like, he's your typical 90s comedy sex crazed boyfriend.
Yes. he fits that stereotype.
He wants
to
the sex. He wants the sex.
He is craved it. She's just not giving it to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Because he was what he says he was watching a movie. He does. I think he actually does reference The Exorcist, because
he does.
Scary and Scream, they also talk about The Exorcist,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't really change it, right? Yeah. So, and he was just how he's talking about it and referencing it, just like Scream. This is not really spoil Scream, is that he's watching it on TV where the good stuff gets edited out, right? And so our relationship is like it's being edited out, like we're not all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But that's when they get a knock on the door, on the bedroom door. So he has to hide.
Because
her dad is there.
Cindy knows that it's her dad. And so he goes and he hides in the closet. And she answers the door. She opens the door, and sure enough, it's her dad, Rick Ducommun.
And he heard the noise, and he's just investigating like a good father. Right. And she assures her it's nothing. And he's like, well, I'm about to go out of town. Right. And he has specific instructions for her about what she needs to do in case something in particular happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not in case there's, maybe, someone tries to break into the house.
No.
Right? Or
no,
it might be a break-in, but it's because he's got a particular job.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so yeah, he works with a man that she calls Uncle Escobar.
I like how casual they just roll into this. Like this is where the movie succeeds really well. Like,
and
it goes between serious and then absolutely hilarious.
I actually forgot to mention that in my theory earlier that he got into drugs because of all of his trauma too, and that led him down the rabbit hole he's in now. But.
He's like, you got to make sure that you flush the shit. He's got money hid. And if she wants to partake in it, like, how is she supposed to, safely partake in the drugs? It's like, sure thing, Dad.
Now, do we ever find out what happened to her mother?
No.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
We hear that he's a widow, so like the mother died at some point, probably
because of what he's into.
Bad drug deal.
Yeah. Uncle Escobar probably came after her because he screwed up.
I'll save your daughter because I love her, right? She's sweet, but that wife, she's got to go.
I mean, he's got to make an example.
Pack her, gonna chop her up into multiple pieces, put them in different suitcases, bury them throughout the Southwest.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like something that he would do.
So
anyway,
Dad leaves.
Dad leaves, and Bobby comes out of the closet.
I was like, oh, that was close, right? And again, he's coming out of the closet.
Yeah.
We'll just
We'll
leave it there.
We'll get there.
So, because right now he's walking out of the closet. That's a perfectly legitimate place for him to hide.
Yep.
Anyway, so he's about to leave, and she's like, "Oh, hey, would you mind settle for a PG-13 relationship?" It's like, he's walking like, "Oh, what's that?" Because she's got her like little pajama blouse on, so she so like kind of buttons up, and she unbuttons it and opens up, and it's a hairy man chest.
A hairy man chest.
Is that when? No, Dawson doesn't show up yet. It's
still later. It's still later when she's back in her room.
So now we cut to the next day. We're at the school, right? And she's showing up, and she sees one of her friends there. Let's see. Brenda Meeks, played by Regina Hall, right? And they see another friend of theirs. Well, friend of Cindy's. Brenda is not like this friend. Buffy Gilmore, played by Shannon Elizabeth, right?
Because she's fake.
Brenda
does not like her because she's fake. And, Buffy pulls up her dad, drops her off at school, and she's dressed all proper. And, she's got this cardigan on and, dressed just like an innocent church girl.
Like, innocent church, yeah. Like, she's a, goody, like, she's a goody two-shoes, a teacher's pet, right? And as soon as Dad leaves, she takes it off, and now she's in that dressed sexy outfit. Right? And by the way, Brenda does have a brother that goes to school there. Shorty,
played by Marlon Wayans.
And he's your classic stoner kid.
Yeah.
And he is making stoner jokes throughout as they are all walking up to school. Right? But there's a big media presence in police there because a student just got killed last night.
Yeah.
Right? Drew Decker got killed.
Yeah. And the reporter who is covering the story, played by Sherry O'Terry, is named Gail Hailstorm.
Gail Hailstorm.
Gail Hailstorm. And she is she's the counterpart of Courtney Cox's character in Scream, who was Gail Weathers.
Gail Weathers, yes. And she's this typical kind of strong-armed woman media person that's trying to get the story. And she even says herself, she's looking around to find the right person she needs to screw.
So that she can get
information
she needs.
This case, right? And we see some other media there, right? There's this truck, this van that says Black News on it.
Yes, Black News Network.
The reporter says, like, we're here, this town.
There was a Black Entertainment News Network. It was one of them. Anyway.
It's like, we're here, and white children are getting killed, and we'll get the fuck out of here.
And they all hop in the van and drive off. This is before the whole hide your kids, hide your wives. You see, ripping everybody up in here. But had that happened before this movie was made, that would have been referenced.
Yes. It was certainly would have been referenced. That goes there. So then I guess it cuts into the school, right?
So were we also introduced to
Gail wrote a book also.
Yes.
You're Dead, I'm Rich. I like how they call it a small college town. You know, it's clearly a high school.
Yeah, it's clearly a high school. No, I mean, it could be a high school and a college town. It could be
a small college town.
But there's no reference to college in this movie other than it's a college town.
And then so they finally figure out who got killed, right? And so they're like, oh my goodness, she sits right next to me. Right? And be like, oh, was she your friend? Like, no, I was just going to cheat off her test. And then, as we're going in, that's right. That's when Gail sees Shorty, right? And he's like, oh shit, I'm on TV. I'm on County Law.
County Law. Bye, sister.
He's like,
again,
peace to my peeps.
I know we've mentioned this before on the podcast, but if you have not gone on YouTube and watched County Law, just go on YouTube and search County Law, and you will find it. It is hilarious.
And so
anyway, isn't this when Greg and Roy show up too?
Yeah, so about to show up. They asked Shorty's like, before that, they asked Shorty's like, Drew Decker's like, oh, she had a fat ass. And then Greg shows up, and then they ask about Roy, right?
Yeah.
Say, oh,
yeah,
where is he? Like, he always lives so close to school. Like, why is he always late?
No. They're talking about Bobby. With that.
That's right. So, yes.
Yeah, Greg and Roy both come up. And then, Greg is Lachlan Monroe. Roy is Sean Wayans.
That's right. Yes. Oh, that's right. Yes. Sean Wayans. That's right. Thank you.
And he's...
Yeah.
Yeah. And Roy is...
So he is Brenda's boyfriend.
Yeah, Brenda's boyfriend.
It's obvious he does not make it... He's obviously seemingly
attracted
to other
men.
guys.
And so then this is when they're talking about Bobby, and they're wondering where he is, and and that's when they're like, I don't get it. He lives so close to school, and he's always late. And then the camera pans over to about 20 feet away from him. There's a trailer, and Bobby comes stumbling out of the door.
So then we cut in. So we cut to the high school next, or we cut to all of them talking next.
I think we cut into the high school. Yeah, I think it's high school next.
Because they're so they're in the class and doing different things there, and finally they're gonna call Cindy into the office because they're just the sheriff and the principal just talking to the students and know what might have happened.
Yeah,
right. They're just trying to get information, right? And we see that there's a special deputy there to help out. Right?
Yeah. So the principal is Principal Squiggy, played by David Lander.
Played by David Lander. Right? We have the sheriff, Sheriff Burke, played by Kurt Fuller. Right? And then we have Officer Doofy Gilmore.
Yes. Officer
Buffy's
Doofy
brother.
Gilmore, Buffy's brother.
Played by Dave Sheridan. Right? And I think it's kind of David Arquette plays this character.
He plays Dewey.
Scream.
In Scream.
Dewey. And he is the brother of the main character's friend in that as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doofy is clearly retarded. He is slow.
Yeah.
And right, he's got like a felt sheriff's badge on.
Yeah.
He's got some water pistols.
He's got a water pistol. He's got a little tiny backpack.
They let him do some cop work, but they keep it rather limited,
Yeah.
right? So he brings Cindy into the office, and they just have the typical type of questions, right? And before they really get into it, though, all of a sudden, the sheriff's like, he's like, "Oh God, what's that smell?"
And then Dewey's like, "I pooed."
It's like, that's okay, Doofy. Like, you go back to special ed now, but you might want to change your pants first. So they finish asking her the questions, and then we get a scene of them outside. Some, I don't know if it's after school or at lunch.
And what we missed though was earlier when Gail was talking about, who do I have to screw to get this information.
Oh yeah.
Then she sees Doofy.
Yes, and she's just started.
So she starts trying to seduce him.
I love how it's just like, "You want to go in the van with me?" So all of them are talking out there, and so he's like, "I wonder if this is, what a year ago was."
They're all sitting at the fountain. Isn't it a fountain out there?
Yeah, it's like a fountain.
Yeah. And
it's like, no, it's like a year ago today. They're like, no, we said we'd never talk about that again. Like, this can't be why this is happening.
That time when we killed the guy. And then it flashes back to all of them which I don't know why they were thinking that if Drew was the one that got killed. I don't know why they were thinking it was because of them, because she wasn't there in the flashback.
She wasn't there. No, she had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, in those movies, a lot of people have nothing to do with it. They get killed.
Yeah.
Like Jack Black. Spoiler alert! I know what you did last summer. But yes, it's spoofing off. I know what you did last summer.
Mm-hmm. So they're driving on the road at night, and
they're all having a good time, and you got the four of them in the back seat. They're trying to all make out, right?
And Bobby's driving, and Cindy's up in the front seat,
passenger seat up in the front seat.
Bobby keeps on trying to get her to touch it because he's sex deprived.
And he like unzips his pants. Like, come on. It's
and
like, I think I have something down here for you to see, right?
And he's not watching the road. So, and there's a guy that's standing by the road, and they kind of swerve over, and they hit him. And that knocks her head down into his lap.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, yeah." But then they realize they hit a guy. Right? And they all get out and they figure like, what are we gonna do? Like we should just stuff it in the trunk and just dump his body somewhere.
And then
no one would ever know what's.
And then while they're trying to figure out what to do, the guy gets up. He's like, "Hey, it's okay, guys. I'm fine.
It's okay. It's all fine."
But none of them are paying attention.
And then, they end up knocking him down again. And he's still actually kind of okay, but he's a little more dazed. So they pick him up, and they put him into the trunk, and they're trying to close the door when another car pulls up.
Mm-hmm.
And this car is Shorty and his friends.
Yep.
And they're not trying to get sex in the back seat. They're just
getting high. They're just getting high.
It is just full of smoke in this car. And Shorty's like, "Oh, okay." And so they drive off, right? And then they get the body into the trunk, and they dump it at a local dock.
Mm-hmm.
And they swear they're never gonna. It's good. They're all taking this secret to them.
Yeah. No one will say a word of this,
and it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to know.
Yep.
Right? Why would anybody know?
Yep. But there's somebody who knows. I know what you did last summer. So then, it fades back to them standing by the fountain.
Oh, wait, we forgot. There was the...
Oh, that's right. And then...
There's a couple scenes we missed inside the school. So one of them actually harkens back to Halloween, where Cindy's in class, and she sees the Ghostface killer out there.
Yeah.
And then she gets a note that says, I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is always like, it's like, oh, that's why she starts thinking about it being that way. Right? But then we cut to the end of football practice. And Greg's in there.
Greg and Roy.
And Roy, he is ready to get close and shower with the rest of his teammates. It's like, let's go shower together. But Greg's all alone.
But there's another thing that we missed before that, but I'll get to that in a minute.
Go ahead.
No, finish the scene, and then we'll go back
Greg finds a Polaroid. It also says I know. On the back of it. You see the back of the Polaroid, it says I know. And he turns it around, and it's his penis. No. It's apparently Greg's penis, and it's about the size of a nickel.
Yeah, if that big.
Anyway, go on. What was the point?
There's the thing earlier, like before, when they first get into school, I think it's after class or something, then Greg and Roy are standing at their lockers. And Roy puts on this tank top, this yellow tank top, and he's like, "Hey man, does this shirt make me look gay?" And Greg's like, "Oh no, don't worry about it, man." And so then he takes it and he tucks it up and like ties it around itself. He's like, "How about now?" And then he just walks away like that. But then also what we had missed was when Cindy mentioned what they did that they promised never to say another word of, and Greg just starts beating her up.
That's right.
He's like, "We swore we'd never say a word about that," and he's hitting her. He like knocks her on the ground. He's just beating on her.
So that's when it launches into like they both saw the I knows, and then Greg shows the Polaroid of his small penis. And we all laugh at him, and now he feels shame for having a small penis.
Yep. But anyway,
we cut to later that evening. There's a beauty pageant. Buffy is participating in this beauty pageant, and the rest of her friends, they're watching on for like this mezzanine section above. And we're on to the talent part of it, right? And all of them kind of go down except for Greg.
Yeah.
Right? And well, Buffy is supposed to be doing this line reading during that, right?
So it's first off they're having a swimsuit competition, right? So they each of them has their sashes, so they've got Miss Congeniality, and then the next one to come up is Buffy, and her title is Miss Fellatio. And so they're after the swimsuit part of the show, then it's that they're doing the talent show portion, and she is going to do a dramatic reading. And like you said, it's about this time. All the friends are standing up on the balcony, and they're looking down and watching, and then they all leave. They all go downstairs for whatever reason, and Greg is the only one left up there. And so right when Buffy starts doing her dramatic reading,
the Ghostface killer
shows up right behind Greg. So she looks
and
up.
She starts
she's the only one that can see him because she's standing on the stage. She's looking that direction.
Yes, everyone's looking at her.
Is behind everybody, so everybody's looking at her. She's the only one that can see what's going on the balcony. So she's like, "Look out, he's behind you!" And everybody thinks that it's just the reading that she's doing, and she's getting really into it. And she's trying to warn Greg, but even Greg is up there. He's like, "This is great. You're great." And then
Ghostface attacks him and starts stabbing him.
Yeah. And then she's like, he's killing him. He's killing him.
And then we're like, oh, wow, she's the greatest actress ever.
The teachers are off on the side. And they're like, oh, wow, this must be an original work.
And everyone's just, they're getting into it. It's original. She's doing it with feeling and gusto.
Mm-hmm. And then Greg is dead. And she's freaking out. And then, right then, they just announce her as the winner.
Yeah.
And so she just forgets about Greg. And she's all, like, she storms off.
Like, I won.
And then one of the other girls comes out and gets her from backstage. And they're like, come on, you won. And so she wipes away the tears real quick, walks out there. She takes her crown, takes her flowers, does her beauty queen,
She does a beauty queen thing. And it's after that she finally decides with her friends to go up and see what happened to Greg. But they can't find Greg anywhere. But we do see Ghostface just stuffing him in to a chest and then just like mopping up all the blood. Right? Like nothing ever happened. So from here, though, now we cut back to Sydney in her house. And she's, again, her dad is left. She's home alone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And is this when Dawson shows up?
Yeah, I think, because this is when... So Bobby shows up again, and this time he's got a knife. It falls out of his pocket or something, and she sees it. He's like, oh, no, I'm just holding on to it for a friend. And so she sort of kicks him out because she thinks that he's the killer.
Right.
And then when she's kind of upset about kicking him out, then I Don't Want to Wait starts playing.
Yes,
the Paula Cole. And, she sits down in her bed while the song's playing, and the window's still open. And you see a ladder show up, and she thinks it's Bobby. And no, it's James Vanderbeek. James Vanderbeek pops his head up in the window. He's like, hey, crap, wrong set.
Wrong set.
Wrong set.
And then after he leaves, she gets a phone call.
Yeah. Because, that was, of course, Dawson's Creek. That was a theme song for Dawson's Creek. So, obviously, anytime that song plays, James Vanderbeek shows up somewhere.
Yes. Exactly. We play Berlin's Take My Breath Away. Tom Cruise shows up.
And if you go into
I Don't Want to Wait, James Vanderbeek's going to show up.
If you turn all the lights off and you look in the mirror and you play that song, James Vanderbeek shows up behind you.
which would be kind of scary now, to be honest. So anyway, he leaves to go back to his Dawson set, or maybe it's actually his Varsity Blues set.
Maybe.
So she gets a phone call.
I don't want your life.
So it's the the Ghostface killer. It's that same distorted voice, right?
Hey, Cindy.
And she's like, "Do you know where I am?" And she goes downstairs. He's trying to hide behind the couch.
His legs are sticking out from behind the couch. He's like, "You're behind the couch." Like, turn around.
So she turns around. She kind of peeks as he tries to hide behind the curtains in the front window.
He's kind of running back and forth.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Like, this way. He tries to hide under the rug. All right. So he finds another spot, and like she clearly is watching him in this last spot, but she acts like she doesn't see him. And he jumps out, and it begins this chase.
And then we get so this has got to be one of the best chases, like one of the best foot chases in movie history.
Yes, I agree.
Because he's chasing her around the house. And she goes to run up the stairs, this extremely long staircase.
Yes.
She gets up about halfway up the stairs, and there's this little alcove with a bike. There's just this bike sitting in the little alcove next to the stairs. So she grabs the bike, she throws it down at him. And then she goes running back up, and there's this little landing, this little catwalk. It's still not even all the way up the stairs.
It's not, no.
And her grandma is standing there with a walker. So she grabs her grandma and she throws her. Ghostface. And she keeps running up the stairs. And when she gets to the top of the stairs, leaning up against the wall, there's a piano. So she takes the piano and she pushes it down the stairs. Because everybody has a piano just sitting in the hall at the top of the stairs.
Everybody. It's Ghostface.
Every
kids run away.
Every woman.
Think that.
So every woman has $40,000 in their purse at all times.
That's right.
And every suburban house has a piano in the hallway at the top of the stairs. It's just, yeah.
And what I like about this is, like, you would think, okay, maybe the grandma's gone at this point, right? As Ghostface is running back down the steps so he doesn't get run over by a piano, and he gets out of the way, but Grandma doesn't. Standing up at the bottom of the steps. She gets just taken out by the piano. So,
but anyway,
I read that
chase.
One of the original ideas for this sequence was not to have the grandma there, but to have Jamie Lee Curtis there.
Oh, that could be funny. That could be funny.
Anyway, Jamie Lee Curtis could have been the grandma.
Yeah, could have been. Wonder why they didn't do that.
I don't know.
Could they not get Jamie Lee Curtis?
Probably could have get Jamie Lee Curtis.
Which is it because she refused to do it, or could they just not get her? But anyway, so the chase makes its way back into the living room. And this is where you get your whole Matrix stuff.
Yes.
So she starts... what is it? What is it that she's throwing? Is it records?
I think it's records. She grabs some records and she grabs something off the wall.
And she starts throwing stuff at him, and it goes in a bullet time.
Yep.
He bends back just like Neo, and everything just flies past him. And then it goes back to real time, and he's stuck like that. He's trying to straighten out his back.
He's like, hey, wait a second. Wait a second.
Finally gets himself back up, and then it goes back into Matrix style bullet time, where this time Cindy is like Trinity.
Yep.
And she does the whole jump, the jump,
not to
freeze.
Not to spoil too much about Matrix, but at the beginning of the Matrix, like, she just jumps up and just hangs there in the air before
while the camera pans around her.
Yeah.
And then kicks.
So, yeah, I mean, this is, again, like the height of the Matrix, and maybe it was like the first huge spoof of the Matrix. I don't know. But, so, they continue to chase, and she finally gets to try to call the cops. Right?
Yeah.
And, right? And she runs back towards the door to try to run away because she's still being chased. Right? And she doesn't see that the Ghostface killer at this point, right? And she goes towards the front door, she opens it up, and that mask is standing right there. But then he's holding the mask, but Officer Doofy.
Officer Doofy is holding it.
And he's holding his water pistol up in the air like he's getting ready to shoot. He's going to clear the room with a water pistol.
Who knows? I mean, the Ghostface killer might actually be the Wicked Witch of the West.
Or the alien from Signs.
Yeah. Or that.
So.
But it's really not until the third Scary Movie that they really reference Signs.
Yeah.
Because at this point, Signs hasn't been out
this
yet.
This is 2 years before Signs.
Yeah, Signs hasn't come out yet at this point.
This is like 60 years after Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been well established. In case you've never seen Wizard of Oz, spoiler alert, the Wicked Witch does not respond to water.
She responds to water, just not very well. I don't know whether she would like. Which also explains why she's green, because obviously she's never showered.
Yes. Yes, she's just going to melt. So, yeah, but we got to the precinct, right? And they got Cindy there, and they're just questioning her about what happened, right? And then the sheriff has some pictures for her to look at.
Mm-hmm. And it's of him in various poses wearing a Speedo.
Like, do you like any of these? She's like, no. It's like, oh, how about you look at this one last time? She's like, no.
Still no. So, no? Oh, okay.
Right.
So is it a Speedo or is it panties that he's wearing? It's red.
I think it's panties.
Yeah, I think it might be. Either way. Yeah, she's like, no. He starts making it like maybe he's showing her pictures of suspects or something like that. And no, it's just various poses of his in panties.
So, but she's waiting for Buffy to show up. She's going to go home with Buffy. But Doofy's still there. He's watching over her. He's helping out. Right, but the other deputies here, they're making fun of him.
Yeah.
Right? And what do they make him smell?
They make him smell on their fingers.
That's right, yes. I was like, oh, yeah, no, one of them's talking about how he was fingering a lady.
Yeah.
He's like, say, hey, Doofy, come here.
And then he puts his fingers in his face. Makes him smell his fingers. And then Doofy reaches his fingers down the back of his pants, and he pulls it out and puts it under the other guy's nose.
How do you smell this? He's like, oh God, what's that? Dude's like, it's my ass. It's like, I just pooped.
That's Doofy's dookie.
The guy's like, oh God. Maybe Doofy's smarter than we think.
Maybe.
That was a funny joke.
Yep.
That was a funny joke. That was a good one. Come here. That was a good joke too.
So Buffy comes and picks up Cindy.
Yep.
And takes her back to her house.
Takes her house. Yep. And they're in, they're in Buffy's room. They're talking like two high school girls talk on sleepover.
And Doofy comes and interrupts them. And Buffy, being the sister, kind of shoos him off and tells him that, if you don't stay out, I'm going to tell Mom what you do with the vacuum.
Like, no, don't do that. And they keep talking, and then Buffy's mom comes up. It's like, oh, Cindy, you got a phone call. And so they go to the hall because every house also had a phone in the upstairs hall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, this was the age of landlines.
It was.
Cell phones were still fairly rare among high schoolers.
At this time, if you had one, it'd be like that small little Nokia that you're only going to use because, like, oh, yeah, I need to get picked up from, like, I'm ready to be picked up, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or, like, anyway, so. And she is freaking out about this because ends up on the other line is that distorted voice again. It looks like you got the wrong guy. And it's like, no, right? And then it hangs up, right? And at this point, no. Buffy's mom has come in, and so they're like, "You okay, Cindy?" Right? It's like, "Yeah, I'll be okay." So they leave and go back to the room, and then Doofy comes out of his room holding
Only a vacuum cleaner. He's in his underwear.
with the hose. The vacuum cleaner.
He's mad. He's like, Mom, I told you not to disturb me when I'm vacuuming my room. Or when I'm cleaning my room.
Sorry. All right. So we get back to school the next day, and then we're in a locker room again. Now, all of a sudden, right?
This time it's the girls' locker room.
Yes. Buffy is going to have a little bit of fun, though, with Cindy.
Yeah.
Right? And she kind of pulls a whole joke about the ghost face and the phone call and everything. The whole
so she pretends to answer the phone, and she's like, "Hello? What? Oh, no, you're going to kill me." And she
that's
starts,
like a mean girl type vibe.
Yeah.
Right? But everybody leaves except Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
And then soon after, Ghostface shows up.
And then she's like, "Oh, I get it. So now you're going to come and you're going to try to kill me now. So I'm supposed to scream?" And she just screams, and she's like, "Oh, now is it time for me to run away?" And she turns around. She starts sort of running away. She's like, "Oh no, now is the time when I break my leg and I fall to the ground." And she just snaps her leg in half and falls to the ground and starts crawling.
You get bones sticking out of her legs. She's just crawling onto the ground.
Oh no, he's gonna get me.
And finally, he gets up to her. He just holds her by her hair.
Yeah. He cuts her head off and picks the head up, and she's still talking. She's like, "Oh no, you just cut my head off."
And he's clearly really annoyed by her. And so there's a trash can. It's like he just kind of shrugs his shoulder,
throws her in the trash,
takes the lid off the trash can, drops it, and puts the lid back on. And you still hear his screaming like, "Oh no!" Like, I can't see anything in this trash can or something to that effect. And he walks away.
So.
Right, and so then we get let's see.
So then, because Cindy's dad is out of town, Bobby wants to throw a party at her house.
Well, before we get to that, right, I think we have the scene where Gail decides to go to that Lover's Lane.
Yeah.
To check out what's going on, right? And then she pulls out, she's got a cameraman named Kenny. There's a cameraman named Kenny, and the scream also. Right? And then as they're at the Lover's Lane, Ghostface just shows up and kills the girl she is interviewing.
Yeah, that's right. Because she's interviewing this girl because the girl's talking about how her boyfriend, they heard a noise, so her boyfriend went to investigate. He hasn't been back. It's been like 10 minutes.
You do realize he's probably dead. The girl's like, "What? No way."
And then while she's interviewing this girl, then Ghostface comes up and kills her.
And then Kenny and Gail, they scream, and Kenny's got the camera, so it becomes like Blair Witch found footage.
So they go running off into the woods.
Catches up with Kenny, kills him.
And then we just see Gail picks up the camera, and it's just her face, just like Blair Witch. And she's talking to her, "I'm so scared. Just, I don't know what's going on." And meanwhile, this snot keeps on just dropping out of her nose.
Just gusher of her snot.
Snot's just gushing out of her nose.
Occasionally, you get the big snot bubble. It comes up and pops. This is probably one of my favorite parodies of the movie because, like, Blair Witch was obviously big surprise
Oh,
hit
yeah.
also.
Yeah.
And everyone called it the scariest movie of all time, and it really wasn't that scary. And they did a really good
And it
job
was also the start of the found footage craze.
spoofing it there. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're going to get ready for a party for the next night because Dad's away, right?
And Cindy isn't so sure about it. She doesn't want to have this party, but Bobby insists. We've got to have. She's like, okay, just a few people, just a few close friends. So then Bobby goes and announces it to everybody in school. This
actually might be the same night that it's going on, right?
Anyway, so Bobby's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Just a few close friends. So then he goes out and he starts to announce to the whole school, party at Cindy's tonight. And everybody's all excited. And so then Brenda, she doesn't feel safe going to this party because there's a killer on the loose.
Yeah, so she's going to go with Ray to the movies.
Roy.
The safest movie you could think about.
Yeah, so she wants to go with Roy to a movie instead.
They're going to go to Shakespeare in Love.
Yes, they're going to go see Shakespeare in Love at the movie theater. Just Brenda and Ray.
But when they get in, they sit down. Ray also realizes he has to go to the bathroom. So Brenda, as he's leaving, like they have the whole thing that comes up is like, no, please be quiet during the theater. It's like, all right, you hear that? All you people that like to talk?
All you like to talk?
That's for all of you.
All of you that won't shut up.
She's talking to the stereotypical loud black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we cut back, we follow Ray. He goes into the men's room. And it's like the little arcade game where you squirt the water.
Yeah.
You're trying to get to the top.
There's this line of urinals that everybody's playing. They're all competing to get like their little thing up at the top.
This is one of the few gags where like it kind of cuts away from spoofing something else and just throws some other gag at you.
Yeah.
Which it can get with spoof movies. And this movie doesn't have a lot of them. It does have this, and it's very funny.
Yeah.
Right. And so he goes into a stall to go to the bathroom. And he hears what sounds like two guys having fun in the next stall. And he looks over and he sees a glory hole.
Mm-hmm. And so he sort of bends down to get a closer look at it. And he doesn't see anything over there. So he puts his ear up against it. And then feels something on his ear. And he's kind of, okay, that feels interesting. And then out the other ear comes his dick. He's just been stabbed through the head by a penis. From ear to ear.
Ear to ear.
And then the penis backs out and he drops to the floor.
Yep. And we cut back to the theater. And now they're having previews.
Although, wait, before the movie, before they went to the movie, they were at Ray's house. And they were
that's right. And they're
in bed and they're sort of making out. And then Ray decides that he wants her. He thinks she looks so great because she's wearing his football jersey. And he thinks she looks great in that jersey.
She needs to put on all the gear.
Yeah. So he gives her the football pants and has her put those on and then has her put on the pads, the shoulder pads and the helmet and all this. And he's like, oh yeah, you look so good. Just continuing the whole running gag about him being closeted.
Yes.
And so, yeah, then they're at the theater and the whole thing with the glory hole in the bathroom. And then it cuts back to Brenda in the theater. And
we see some previews. We see one for Amistad 2.
Mm-hmm. Amistad 2.
Which they do a little spoof off of Titanic. Because you get this guy. He thinks he's just on a nice cruise on the. He just hold Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm the king of the world. And then the slave driver comes up and just
starts whipping him. It's Amistad 2.
But by the way, this slave that's in this trailer for Amistad 2 is Keenan Ivory Wayans.
It is Keenan Ivory Wayans. So we have a director cameo there.
Right? And then we kind of cut to finally Brenda watching the movie. And she is getting into
it, and she's just talking all about it.
It's like, oh, look at that.
She's like, I can totally see how this won the Academy Award.
That guy's about to get with Gwyneth. She's pretending to be a man.
That's Shakespeare. Shakespeare.
And all the people who are like, and it's funny, like it's Shakespeare in Love. And so like most of the audience is kind of your like stuffy middle class white people. And they're like, would you shut up? And it's like, do you mind?
I'm trying to watch a movie. And you're just being all annoying. You won't shut up. You won't let me watch my Shakespeare.
And finally, Ghostface sits down next to her, and like he's getting annoyed. And this woman's like, "It's like, oh, if you're not gonna do it, I'm gonna do it." And picks up the knife and just stabs her.
And then somebody else gets the knife and stabs her, and it's just they're passing this knife around. Everybody's
like, "Oh wow, that's a great idea." Well, I'm gonna stab her. And she finally gets up and she stumbles all around, and like she kind of comes to the front of the theater where like this is the type of theater where you kind of like there's like a stage.
There's a little bit of a stage in front of the screen.
And she just drops dead after receiving at least a dozen stab wounds.
Or does she?
Does anyone really die in this movie?
Because spoiler alert, she does show up in the next ones. She does. She is a regular in the Scary Movie franchise. So that's the end of her for this movie.
Yes. So we're back at the house party, and Sydney's just trying to get her to calm down and not destroy the house. Right? And then one of her friends shows up, Tina, played by Marissa Jarrett Winokur. Like, she needs more beer. Right? And so she tells her where to get it. She goes, it's the garage. Right? And she goes and she gets like a little bat. I think it's a little bat blue she gets.
Yeah. And Tina's a bigger girl.
Yes. And all of a sudden Ghostface shows up, right? And they kind of have a little cat and mouse. She's trying to get back to safety, and he won't allow it. Right? and so she sees the tiniest doggy door alive.
Yeah.
Ever made.
In the middle of the garage door. Where this is pretty much shot for shot a scene from Scream.
Yes. Different character.
Yeah.
The character in Scream has big boobs instead.
Yeah. But, so, she's trying to run away from Ghostface. And she runs over to this doggy door because she sees that as the only way out, and she tries to climb through it, and she obviously is too big to fit through it.
Yeah, she gets her head through it. That's
she gets
about
her head through and an arm through, and then Ghostface decides he's going to just go open up the garage door and let it lift her up, and kill her that way. But it starts to lift her up, and then it because she's a big girl, it puts too much strain on the motor. And the whole garage door and the rafters and that section of the house collapses on top of her. So yeah, so she's dead.
We got back into the party. And Sydney now, she is drunk. And so she invites Bobby upstairs to her room.
Yep.
She is ready to
and
do the deed.
She apologizes for thinking that he was the killer. And all that. And she's ready to do the deed with him. Meanwhile,
and so
Shorty is in the basement with his friends getting high.
Yep, and they're getting high. And one guy comes down and they get a call. Right? From one of their other friends. And Shorty just answers it. He's like, hey, what's up?
What's up?
And so they're like, what's up?
The friend that's calling is Ghostface. It's Ghostface that's calling him. And then Ghostface is like, what's up? And I love this whole, like, this part of the movie, it happens a lot more than in the rest of the movie. But Ghostface's face keeps changing. Like, he's got a big smile, or he's like, his tongue's hanging out on this part. And
well, eventually, yes. And then, later after this, like, he gets high with all these guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he eventually ends up killing all of them because he's just, except Shorty, because he's freestyling rapping with a knife. And he slices them all up.
But, and also just for the younger folks that might be listening, the whole what's up thing it was hugely popular in the early 2000s. It was
originally a Budweiser commercial.
Yeah, during the Super Bowl.
It became a whole series of commercials about what's up.
Yeah.
And
people would just call each other like, what's up? And then they get somebody else on the phone and what's up? Yeah.
It's like 6, 7. It really had no meaning. Has no meaning. What's up? Didn't really have much of a meaning. He just said it.
I mean, obviously it was, asking what's up, but yeah, it was the 6, 7 of the early 2000s. You can
go on to YouTube and find different what's up commercials. Mm-hmm. There's a whole parody one where someone just set the Super Friends.
Yep.
Saying what's up to each other.
So, yeah.
And then one of my favorites was wasabi. Wasabi.
Yeah.
Yes, wasabi. Wasabi.
Yeah. I remember that one. Every time that I see wasabi, I think of that. Like anytime I'm eating sushi and there's wasabi. Yeah.
So anyway, that's what that reference is. So yeah, they go up to Cindy's room and she, they take off her shirt. And then he's going to take off her pants. And she takes off her pants. The big afro.
There's a big afro in her crotch.
Like, Shaft's like, oh, my.
Uh-huh.
That puts... Wow.
Like, it's so big that, like, he pulls her panties down and just this hair just... He springs off of it. Right? It pops up, this giant afro just pops up and he flies back against the wall. So,
and then they decide like, oh, they're gonna be more comfortable if she goes on top.
Well, first he gets some hedge trimmers.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
he trims it all down. Yeah, and then they decided that she'll be more comfortable if she's on top, so she climbs on top of him, and they're doing the deed. They're having a little tea party.
He's been, he's been deprived. And she, and then all of a sudden, as she is getting to her enjoyment, she almost changes like Linda Blair, the Exorcist.
Yeah.
Becomes like possessed and starts shoving him down even farther as he's starting to himself. And then as he erupts,
as he climaxes, it's like Old Faithful. There's this geyser that just launches her up against the ceiling, and she just splattered up on the ceiling, stuck to the ceiling.
So,
and so then he's like, sorry, it's been a while.
Obviously. Then this is going simultaneously with Shorty and
Yeah.
the friends getting. Anyway,
Yeah.
so as they're getting
well,
dressed,
Shorty didn't get killed down there, but all of his friends did.
No, Shorty's the only one that survived.
Because the Ghostface was freestyling, and he was freestyle rapping, and while he was doing it, he was swinging the knife around, and he killed everybody.
So as they're getting dressed, right? Cindy has a few questions for Bobby, but then Ghostface shows up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And stabs Bobby.
Yep.
And disappears, right? And then Cindy gets a gun, right? And Bobby kind of
because Cindy's dad had a gun somewhere. Cindy's dad had a gun hidden in the house, and she knew where it was. He works for Uncle Escobar, so of course he's going to have something to protect himself.
Exactly. So they get downstairs, and they see Shorty. Shorty has come up from the basement. Shorty's like, "Whoa, you got to be careful, right?" It's like the killer's out here, right?
Well, no. First, so he comes down. Shorty doesn't come up from the basement yet. So Bobby comes down. He's like, holding his stomach because he just got stabbed, right? He comes down, and then Ray comes out too. And now Ray's got a big bandage on his ear. And Bobby comes up to Cindy and gets her to give him the gun. And she gives him the gun, and then he stands up straight. He's like, "Ha ha, catch up." Rubs the blood that's on his shirt. And he's like, "Ah, catch up." And then so then Ray comes out, and they reveal that she's like, "You're the killer." It's like, "No, actually, we're copycats of an actual serial killer." But we figured, why not have some fun with it? And then Shorty comes up from the basement.
It's really, so it's like the killer's out there. It's like I know. And he sees them. It's like, and they're like, well, like why?
And Bobby shoots Shorty, and then Shorty, he shoots him in the chest, and Shorty falls to the ground, and there's smoke coming up from the hole in his chest, and he's like, "Oh, he shot me in the lung," and he goes,
"Oh, wait.
Oh, that's some good shit." Right before he dies.
And it's like, well, why? And Bobby's like, it's like, oh. It's like, and he reveals that it's not because he's sexually repressed by his girlfriend. No.
Because he's gay.
Remember, he came out of the closet earlier in the movie?
Came out of the closet earlier in the movie.
Now he's really coming out of the closet.
And his gay lover is Ray. But Ray denies being gay.
It's like, yeah, me and Ray were gay. And Ray's like, what?
No,
I'm not gay.
Like, but what about in the cabin? What we did in the cabin. He's like, hey, you were the one sucking me.
Well, it's like, oh, I just like how it looks.
He's like, what about the clothes? Like, I just like how it looks. But anyway, so they take Cindy into the other room, and they reveal that they have her dad tied up with a ball gag in his mouth.
Yep.
With his sex toys and stuff that he has. And they're gonna kill him.
Yep. But Ray gets a little bit upset. So instead, he ends up stabbing Bobby.
No, because they have to make it look real. So they've got to.
Yes.
So they can't be the only two survivors getting out of there scot free in this massacre. So they're killing everybody in the house, and then they each they decided they're each going to stab each other, so that they both look like victims.
Yes, that's what it is, right?
And so it's Ray is supposed to stab Bobby, and then Bobby's supposed to stab Ray, and they're supposed to stab each other in non-lethal places. And so Ray goes to stab Bobby, and he stabs him, but he stabs him a little bit in the wrong place. It's like Bobby's like, Ray, that really hurts. You're not supposed to go so deep. And Bobby and Ray he's getting kind of mad, and so he just keeps on stabbing him.
Yeah.
He reveals upset, not realizing that he's stabbing all of it.
The Wayans Brothers TV show.
Yeah, because because he's talking about how comedies are so good, and they need to, some are unfairly criticized, and the Wayans Brothers was a good show. Which, I mean, the Wayans Brothers was obviously the Wayans Brothers show. Sean and Marlon were the stars of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's so upset about the Wayans Brothers being canceled that he's not realizing that he keeps on stabbing Bobby.
And that's when Ghostface shows up again.
Mm-hmm.
And stabs Ray.
Right?
Then Sidney ends up kicking Ghostface out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But Ghostface disappears.
Yeah.
And now we're left with Cindy and her dad outside, and the cops are showing up, and Dad's scared that they're showing up, and not that there was this big house party, a bunch of underage people drinking,
yeah,
and a bunch of dead bodies.
No, he's afraid they're
he's
going
worried
to
about the
stash.
drugs. He's going all the rainbow, right the Goodfellas, and just trying to dump everything down the toilet.
Yeah,
and he realizes they're not there for that, so he beats a sigh of relief. Oh, we missed a part 2 earlier when they're back at the police station earlier in the movie with the sheriff, where she tells him about how they killed a guy a year ago.
Yeah,
and they think that's the killer. It's like, no, we checked it. He's like, we dug that up, and yeah, he's still dead.
Yeah, he's still dead. Buried. He's buried in this cemetery.
I love how
they
don't proceed to arrest her.
Yeah, they just brush over the fact
to a crime.
Yeah.
She just admitted an unsolved murder. So, yeah. Anyway, so we, Dad goes back in the house, and Sidney decides to go back down to the police station to tie up a few loose ends with questions.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and so she's sitting with the sheriff again, Kurt Fuller, as you said earlier. Right, and I just want to know who could the killer be? Right. And this is when they talk. No, this is when they talk about the guy earlier, right? Yeah, and David Keegan is the guy that they killed the year earlier.
Yeah,
and this is what he says, like, no, like he's still buried. Like, no, we dug up. Yeah, no, it's not him. And then Cindy, she has a cup of coffee. And she starts thinking about all these things that have happened over the past several days.
Yeah, and if they never told anybody about it, then who could have found out? How could they have found out?
Exactly.
And she realized there's one person who was close to everyone who they would talk in front of, not thinking that there was any... that he would really comprehend what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And that person is Doofy. And so then we get, as she's piecing this together, we get Doofy leaving the police station. And
not walking so
he starts walking
slow.
like Doofy's been walking, and then he starts, straightening up.
Like a normal person.
And, he takes off his fake mustache. takes off his
felt
hat,
badge, throws away his water pistol,
drops the backpack, takes off his police uniform, and he's just got a black t-shirt underneath it, and walks up, lights a cigarette, and then walks up to a car that's being driven by Gale.
At this point, now he really does look like Dave Sheridan.
Yeah. And he hops in the car, and they drive off.
And then the sheriff
so
and they come and they're looking around for them.
This is a reference to Usual Suspects.
Usual Suspects, yes. We'll try not to spoil that specifically if you haven't seen The Usual Suspects.
Yeah. But that's all we're going to say. It's a reference to that movie. We're not going to say what the reference really is.
I grant that movie's 30 years old, and so you might know, but it does reference that very heavily at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's not a scary movie.
No. But yeah, so then they all run out of the police station and they find the backpack, and they reach in there, and it's the Ghostface mask and a knife.
Yep. They're like, damn it.
And so.
And it cuts to black.
Cuts to black.
That's a scary movie.
And the credits roll. And then after the credits, there is a post-credits scene.
With Shorty.
Well, there's another one at the very end of the credits, though.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
There's the mid-credits scene with Shorty.
Yes.
And then the very end of the credits, there is Doofy with his vacuum cleaner. And he's trying to break up with it. But it convinces him to have one more roll in the sack. One more roll in the hay.
He was very committed to the bit.
Yeah.
Very committed.
Yeah. And then it fades to black.
That is a scary movie.
That is a scary movie.
Funny movie. Nice, quick pace to it.
Mm-hmm.
Good summer comedy movie.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, not everybody's taste in comedy, but
it will not. Yeah, not everyone will fit the taste of it, but it's enjoyable.
It is a very, very good example of a spoof.
It is. I would absolutely agree with that. I enjoyed watching it again. It's been a while. I don't know when I will rewatch it again, but I thought I enjoyed rewatching it for this. Mm-hmm. This was
so did I.
A fun trip back down memory lane.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I had some good laughs. So
yeah,
I'm glad that we did it.
Me too. So if you enjoy what you're listening to, then go ahead and check us out on our social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram and Threads. That is Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. The and is spelled out A-N-D. It's not 9% like the name of the podcast. We're also on X or Twitter. That is RNT Cinematic. And we are also on Letterboxd, so you can check us out on there. Cine Adventure or Cine Adventure, CINE Adventure. You can see some various reviews that we've done on movies. Some we've done on the podcast, some we haven't done, some we will do, some we won't do. And also, you can send us an email at robandtonycinematicadventure@gmail.com. Once again, the and is spelled out A-N-D. It's not 9% like the name of the podcast, but let us know what did you think of Scary Movie? Yeah. Is it your ideal spoof? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What are your thoughts? We want to hear from you. And yeah, go to our social media, give us a like and a follow. Go to your favorite podcast app, or if you're listening to us, hit that subscribe button. Give us a good rating, a good review. That's how we move up in the rankings and the search and the recommendations, all that stuff. Because we really do want to find as many people that like listening to us rant about these movies.
Yes, we do.
Because we know that there are people out there who also like to discuss movies and like to listen to people
you're out there.
Movies. And so we want to try to find as many of you as we can so that we can all be this, good movie-loving community.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, that said, next week, we are going to be continuing our summer movie blockbuster series.
We will, yes.
And this time, we're going to be visiting the MCU, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
We will be, yes.
So
it's been
far,
a while since
we have done Iron Man, and that is the only real MCU. Well, we did Iron Man and then Deadpool movies. So,
Yes.
Deadpool and Wolverine is an MCU movie. So, this will be our third MCU movie. Right? I'm not missing
We're
one.
really going to dive into
I don't think
like,
I'm missing
the
one.
original part of the MCU.
Yeah. So, because we can't really do too much with the MCU without introducing some of the earlier MCU movies first, because it's all so intertwined that you can't really talk about too many of the later ones without spoiling a lot of the earlier ones.
That's right.
So, we're going to be talking about one of the first MCU movies to come out. In fact, it's the fourth one to come out.
It is to
be
fourth
released. We're going to be talking about Thor.
And it's kind of the one that really tried to set forth the whole agenda.
Yes.
Of at this one they had a plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about Thor, the original Thor, starring Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman and Stellan Skarsgård,
Kat Dennings, Idris Elba.
Yes. Directed by none other than Kenneth Branagh.
I love Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to get to do this because it's been a while since we've done the MCU. They've been at the forefront of the summer blockbuster season for the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's appropriate to go back into them a little bit. So I think this will be a good episode.
I think so too. I mean, I really enjoyed this movie.
Me too.
So it'll be a lot of fun to watch it again and then talk about it with you.
I agree.
So join us next time for Thor.